We start here. Sekhukhune United footballer Shaune Mogaila has been granted 20,000 rand bail at the Rabie Ridge Regional Court in Tembisa. The well-known soccer player faces culpable homicide charges. This after a vehicle he is alleged to have been driving crashed into another car. A 9-year-old child also died in the crash. Alcohol, dacha and a powder believed to contain drugs was also found by police in the soccer player's car. All right, let's now get the latest as to what actually transpired in court with our reporter, Ofentse Setimo, who was in court and joins me now for an update. Ofentse, good afternoon. So take us through what transpired in court. We understand Mogaila just appeared in court a short while ago and 20,000 rand bail was actually granted. But tell us what happened before that bail was granted.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Alicia. It was actually a long day in the office today,
as you can imagine.
We reported for duty, I think, around 8 o'clock, and the case only came on the roll at around 1:45.
What was the cause of the delays?
You know, it's not yet clear, but there were circumstances that were contributing to this. One being that the Tembisa Magistrates Court for the whole of today, the toilets were locked because there was no water.
What?
You know, and also the magistrate was mentioning the fact that we had to do an application as well in order to be granted inside court. So they tried to push most of the matters that were on the court roll and to attend to this one, I think second last, because there were other matters that were actually on the roll when we were leaving the court. You know, so basically what happened is that the lawyer for Mogaila tried to reduce the bail, saying that, you know, he's earning around 40,000 rand and he's paying for a nice car and a 13,000 rand for like a bond. They were saying that, you know, earning 40,000 and servicing those debts and also paying for, you know, supporting the family, he doesn't have a lot on him. So they suggested that he must get a bail of 5,000. But then they felt that, no, 5,000 would not be sufficient considering, you know, the extent of this particular matter that is before the courts now. Then that's when they came to the 20,000 rand bail.
When is he due back in court?
He's due back in court on the 4th of February 2025 when he will actually make that bail application.
And what are the charges?
I beg your pardon. He will be appearing in court for, you know, to finalize this particular trial so that it can actually get on the roll and then they can start with it.
Okay. All right. So currently he's facing charges of culpable homicide. Is that the only charge that he's facing? No,
it's not the only charge he's facing. He's also facing a charge related to contravention of the National Roads Act, of which, you know, after an accident, you're supposed to assist those that are injured. So with him, he actually fled the scene. Yes. As you rightfully mentioned in the intro, there were some substances allegedly that were found in his car, of which maybe him fleeing was actually to try and conceal the fact that he was having some substances and he was under the influence as well.
Ofentse, did you manage at this stage to get any reaction from the suspect himself or his football home, Sekhukhune United?
Well, the suspect, because he's behind bars, no, we actually did not manage to get a hold of him to actually respond. The family and some soccer players were there briefly. You know, when we tried to approach them to actually get a comment, they were very reluctant and they were very, how can I put it, not quite polite, you know, in terms of the media approaching them to try and get a reaction. But we were able to speak to the family of the deceased 9-year-old and they explained that they are actually distraught that the culprit actually received a bail. And they also mentioned that, you know, the fact that they'll be having a Black Christmas and he'll be out there roaming the streets, it doesn't sit well with them. But they said that they hope that the courts will actually, you know, issue a justifiable punitive measure.
And then, Ofentse, I mean, did you manage to get any update about, of course, the mother that we understand is still fighting for a life in ICU alongside the 13-year-old passenger as well?
Absolutely. When we were speaking to her relatives and her loved ones, we spoke to them prior to them going to visit her at the hospital. When they came back, they were distraught. You know, I think that said a lot that regarding her state of health and everything. You know, they were quite distraught, actually saying that they are not able to talk, but eventually they designated someone who was able to speak to us outside of court.
Okay, because the reason I was asking also about the player or the teammates or even, you know, the management of the team is to ascertain whether or not the suspect will actually be playing during the ongoing games at the stage. Do you know anything around that?
Yeah, the statement that was issued by Sekhukhune United was quite thin. They actually actually just issued condolences to the grieving families, but they didn't want to comment on the matter since it's
whether
still
they're
before the
taking
courts.
disciplinary measures or not, nothing at this stage.
Nothing at this stage.
All right, Ofentse, thank you so much nonetheless for that sound update. That is Ofentse Setimo, SABC News reporter, with us in studio here with an update on Shaune Mogaila's court appearance this afternoon. He's currently out on 20,000 rand bail.